How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? That is right, I purchased my next vehicle. So if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know I daily drive a 2019 Chevrolet Bolt. I'm a big fan of the electric powertrain. It served me very, very well. I got over 45,000 miles on the car. I've done a couple of tire rotations, and that's it, other than the battery replacement under recall. But that's really it. So that's a leased vehicle. It is about to end in September, so I've been contemplating what I want to do to replace it. And although the thumbnail shows a C8 Corvette and it shows that I did buy a new car, it is actually not, in fact, this 2023 C8 Corvette. But I wanted to show you this car and then maybe give you a hint on what I bought at the end of this video. So is that considered clickbait? Because I don't know. I mean, technically the thumbnail, it does address the two things in this video. One is that I bought a new car, and the other one is going to be this great C8 Corvette that we're going to look at. So hope you don't get mad at me. Let's focus on the Corvette. This is actually the color I would probably order if I got the car. Hypersonic Gray Metallic. I think it looks fantastic, and it reminds me a lot of satin steel. Now, I have a Chevrolet Volt in satin steel, and it's a fantastic color. It always looks clean, it's easy to maintain, it has a nice shine, yet it's a lighter color. I'm getting the same vibes from this color, Hypersonic Gray Metallic. So I'm a fan. I think it looks fantastic. You can see the lines, you can see lights, you can see shadows, that sort of stuff. So I'm really happy to finally get one here. This is the first time I'm seeing this color in person. Now this gentleman, I have the window sticker here because it's not my sold order, so I'm not exactly sure what equipment this has, other than just, you know, what I'm seeing by looking at it. But this is in fact the Z51 performance package. You know, that package is $6,345, and it gives you the rear axle, the performance ratio rear axle, gives you the high performance tires, the Z51 performance suspension, the electronic limited slip differential. It does have the Z51 performance brakes with the Z51 logos on the calipers. It gives you the heavy duty cooling system, the performance exhaust, and this one actually has the low rear spoiler rather than the higher rear spoiler that was on the previous model year. Now, I actually like this spoiler a lot. I really like the way it just comes off the back of the car a little bit. I like the fact that it's to the trunk lid, that you don't have that gap underneath. Not that I didn't like the previous Z51 spoiler, but I do really like this one as well. You know, I think they're both really good options, but I feel like I'm digging this one more. I don't know what your thoughts are, whether you like this low profile spoiler or the higher one. Not like the high wing spoiler, but just the regular Z51 spoiler. This one obviously painted carbon flash metallic, which is an option he added along with the carbon flash metallic painted mirrors. Now, what always goes really well these days with all the black accents on these C8 Corvettes is a nice set of 20-spoke gloss black forged aluminum wheels. They look absolutely fantastic, and as you can see while we're looking at the wheel, they also upgraded to the edge red painted calipers. Now, those calipers look fantastic because you have a matching red interior, which we're going to get to in a second. You know, so like when you're looking at the car from here, you have the black and hypersonic gray contrasts, you got the red accents on the brake calipers, and then as you're looking at front windshield here, you can see the red accents on the interior and on the seats. This is a 2LT model, and they did add the adrenaline red interior. Now, I kind of left everything wrapped up here because sometimes Corvette owners, when they buy these cars, they want everything like it came from the factory. I don't know if that's the case with this gentleman, but I'm gonna leave everything kind of wrapped up the way it was from the factory. I'm sure you've seen a number of Corvettes before. Nothing really too much different here, you know, inside. This is a 2023 model, like I said. It's a 2LT, it's a Z51. It's got the upgraded wheels, which actually cost $995. The edge red calipers cost $695. We talked about the carbon flash painted mirror caps. That's $195. And this also has the battery protection package, which is $100. And the last thing, which I did not mention yet, actually two things I didn't mention yet. One, he did add the front lift. So a lot of people have been getting out with these Corvettes. These are very obviously low in the front. With the front lift, you hit a button, you can raise this front end 2 inches to help get you into, you know, driveways or anything that may have a higher approach angle. It'll give you a higher approach angle actually by turning that feature on. And then it has that GPS setting where it can memorize up to 1,000 locations. So a lot of people add that. It's not cheap, it's $25.95. Quite frankly, I don't know if I would ever need it or order it. I think I would just do without it, but you know, definitely a nice to have. And then what I really like that they ordered, which I don't see often, they spent $995 on it, the transparent removable top. Now, this is a very dark tinted top. It's a plastic of sorts. as far as the material it's made out of. So I had it in my C6 Corvette. I never felt it was too much with the sun and things like that. But what it does is it gives you a cool look on the outside because it looks like the roof is painted black. So now when you look at all the accents, the Hypersonic right to the black, you also have the black roof there as well, which looks cool. I'm actually wondering, now that I look at it, it's almost like you'd feel like this should be black as well to bring you right to this back window. Like maybe you have it all wrapped to match. That would actually probably look pretty cool. A little difficult with this line here because would you follow this or bring it to the edge, then when you get here you have a problem. But and nevertheless, I think it looks great. And quite frankly, I always like the transparent roof in the car that I personally had, because driving in like city environments where you have red lights that you're stopping at often, if you're not like the third, fourth car back, if you were like the first or the second car, because of the rake of that window, you had to kind of like lean forward to look up to see the light. With the clear top, you can just look straight up and you can see the light for when it turns green and you're, you know, off and running. But I wanted to take a quick second to show you this car. MSRP of this vehicle, $84,815. This was in fact sold at MSRP, like we've sold pretty much all of our Corvettes at MSRP. That is about to change though for future orders. That being said, we're backlogged like 21 cars right now. So, you know, they only built 9 for us last year. So we're probably sold out into the 24 model year at this point. But hopefully General Motors can figure out what they got to do to get these things built faster for us. And that doesn't just go for Corvette, but it goes for pretty much, you know, all the models. Now, as far as my next vehicle, what I will say is that I've been thinking of a lot of different things over the last few months. I wanted to buy something that I could actually bring like to the YouTube audience, something that I can modify. I had something all lined up, ready to order, and I couldn't order it as a 22 anymore, so I didn't order it. I still can't order it as a 23. That should be happening very shortly. But in the interim of just thinking and deciding, I started contemplating all different things. And I started thinking about cars, right? And being a car enthusiast, there's 2 types of cars that I've bought over the years. Cars that were enthusiast vehicles. Chevrolet C6 Corvettes, I bought 2 of them. I had a Jeep Wrangler. I had a classic 1973 Ford. I had a 2006 Trailblazer SS. You know, I had some cool, fun stuff that I bought because they were manual transmissions and I could modify exhaust systems and they had performance and they can go off-road, and there's all different fun, enthusiast reasons. And then I bought vehicles that were functional, you know, cheap, functional vehicles that the cost of ownership was very low, like the Chevrolet Bolt, you know, a very inexpensive, cheap lease, no maintenance, you know, just an excellent buy. Back in 2004, I purchased a used 2000 Cavalier. At the time, it had 78,000 miles on it. I kept that car for 10 years and drove it to 191,000 before I salvaged it. And even when I salvaged it, I got $500 for it, so I even got money out of it. Car cost me literally like nothing to own other than oil changes, 1 brake job, 1 set of tires, and a brake line that burst that I had to get a brake line fixed. Other than that, outstanding buy. That car was the car I used as like my everyday daily driver when I had the Corvettes and the Jeep and these other vehicles. I've had 2 Volts, Chevrolet Volt, great car. I could plug it in at work. It used very little fuel, very little maintenance. So I've done both, where I've had cars that were very enthusiast, fun cars, and I've had cars that were more for the purpose of going to A to B. And that's what I've been wrestling with. Do I get something that's for fun, that I can make content about and modify, and which would generally cost me more money, or do I do something that's more economical, more for the current times, the fact that we don't really have cars to sell, things have slowed down a lot, you know, maybe something that's more beneficial, you know, financially. And I've come up with a deal that if it happens next month the way it's slated to happen, it will literally be the best deal on a new car in America. And I'm not going to talk too much about it right now because, again, I don't know that it's going to come through the way I want it to, but if it does, it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. The Honda Civic hatchback from the last video, sport model. We're charging $27,977 on the window sticker here. However, on the internet, it's a little bit less. It's $300 less. It's $27,677. Now, in that last video, I got a ton of comments about how this is priced higher than MSRP of a new car. Did a little research. Looks like it is. But that's the market, right? The car industry is wholesale to retail. So rest assured, I checked because I was curious, because I was not the one that traded this vehicle in. One of the other salespeople were. The gentleman actually traded in for a 2500 Silverado, and I don't know the exact MSRP of this. I looked online. It looks like it should be somewhere around 24, in the low 24 range. If that's true, the gentleman trading this in got more money on a trade-in than MSRP was on this vehicle when it was new. So I get it, the price is high, people may call us price gougers and things of this nature, but it's a used car that has a market driven price due to the demand of the vehicle and the availability of the vehicle. And right now these vehicles must be pulling some money. I went online, check out Carvana's prices for similar vehicles, 2021s. Outrageous. They're all over 30,000. So we're actually probably one of the better priced ones in our current times, our current market. I'm not saying that's a smart car to buy at that price, but you know what? When we look forward, when we go forward 5 years from now and look back, maybe it will be. Like, I don't think anybody really knows. Everybody wants to be the ones that are going to break the news of when the bubble bursts and when everything, you know, breaks free and you know, all the car prices tank. But you know what? We're not getting new cars in. So I don't know if there's no new cars to buy and people buy used and supply still dwindling, at least as far as is in my dealership here in our area, as far as I can see. It might be different in different parts of the country. You know, until we get a lot more vehicles on the lot, I don't see how prices are going to come down. But again, time will tell. And if you go back a year and a half, 2 years ago, nobody predicted what's going on right now. Nobody knew that cars would be priced as high as they are. And to use that C8 Corvette as an example, that gentleman's paying $84,815 for that car, and he can probably sell it for what right now? 110, maybe a little bit better. So, you know, how does it feel for a dealership to sell a car that they know is way below market value? You know, here we're selling one that's technically also below market value when compared to what's out there. It just doesn't seem that way because it's more expensive than it was a year ago, which really is nuts. It's crazy. I never thought I would see the things, I couldn't even dream that I would see the things that are going on right now in the automotive industry, but it's interesting, it's exciting, and listen, I'm here. I'll keep talking about it. Have a good day.